Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlickers, shills, debt slaves, serfs, peasants, vassals, inside traders. I'm Useful Idiot. Welcome. So it's pretty timely that I would do this video about Nancy Pelosi because, of course, we have the Pelosi Act uh, uh, basically going through Congress right now. The whole idea of banning insider trading by members of Congress, and there's it's great that that's being finally legitimately discussed. I'll be surprised if it actually passes. But if it does pass, I assume there's going to be some built-in loopholes and that most congressmen will find a way around it. And it's just too much part of the gravy train of doing government service to get involved in insider trading. And the examples we have are so obvious. We have members of the Armed Services Committee who are heavily invested in the defense industry. And we have all these mega tech corporations that collude with the government. And congressmen make about 10,000 trades a year, and most of them have a lot of stock in all the big uh, uh, investments that we would expect, including Microsoft and Amazon and Nvidia and the like. So the fact that they're regulating these industries and are privy to all this information about legislation that affects these companies, it's just low-hanging fruit for congressmen to trade and do a lot of insider trading. And I'll attach a link below that talks about all the biggest so-called inside traders in Congress and what kind of investments they make and what kind of returns they make. But it's definitely rampant. But this is the kind of thing that Congress definitely is going to resist. They've been talk about term limits for years, and there's no way that Congress is ever going to pass term limits. It's just not in their interest. They love getting on the gravy train, and people like Pelosi being in there for 40 or 50 years and building up their grift system. And so they also there used to be a lot of resistance to Congress voting themselves raises. So what they did is they just made raises automatic. So the only way that you'll know that Congress is getting raises, um, it won't really appear in the media because they don't have to vote on it. They just happen automatically. The only way you'd hear about it is if some congressman voted against the raise, which is not going to happen. So anyway, they always find a way around it. But Nancy Pelosi definitely is the queen bee of insider trading. She's been in office for 37 years, and she's made $130 million in profits off of her stock holdings, which is a 16,930% return, which is astronomical. That's better than Warren Buffett. That's better than most hedge funds, and just astronomical amount of return. When she took office in 1987, she had $785,000 in stocks and a dozen stocks, and she's overall is just so ahead of all these people who are professional investors. And so, to look at, well, what is that? 30, well, 37 years, she's gone from $785,000 in stocks to $130 million in stocks. And we've seen lots of examples of her. There's a decision about Visa in the last several years, and she was privy to that information, and she cashed in on Visa stocks because she knew what kind of legislation was coming down the pike. But she's got 20 to 50 million dollars of stock in Apple. She's invested in Nvidia, Palo Alto Network, Salesforce, and Netflix. And her investments there were worth $3 million in 1987 and now worth $280 million today. And part of that, of course, she owns a Napa winery, an Italian restaurant, a bunch of commercial real estate, and oddly enough, a political data and consulting firm. But life has been good. She's got a $650,000 house in Georgetown, which the government helps pay for, and an $8.7 million house in San Francisco. Not bad for somebody that is a member of Congress and makes $175,000 a year, I think. And granted, a lot of this wealth is the wealth of both her and her husband. but that doesn't take away from the fact that she is the queen bee of insider trading, and the only way you get returns of over 16,000% is because you've been privy to insider knowledge year after year after year for 37 years. So let's all cross our fingers and hope that this insider trading ban happens and gets through Congress. It'd be a really good step, but I would imagine some congressmen may end up even not running for re-election, not being able to have the gravy train of insider trading. I'm a useful idiot, don't you be one too?